Football thrives on passion, on the electric atmosphere that crackles through the stadium. It's a sport fueled by the energy of its supporters, a symbiotic relationship where the players draw strength from the stands. And the roar of the crowd, the collective voice of thousands, a wave of sound that can intimidate opponents and inspire their own team to greatness. It's what makes the beautiful game so captivating. But in Atlanta, as Chelsea, the pride of London, faced LAFC in their Club World Cup debut, a match anticipated by fans worldwide, the atmosphere was eerily empty. A stark contrast to the vibrant scenes usually associated with such a high-profile event. The silence was almost deafening. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium, a state-of-the-art arena built for 71,000 screaming fans, a cauldron of noise and excitement, saw just over 22,000 in attendance, a fraction of its capacity. A sea of empty seats stretching as far as the eye could see, a visual representation of the event's shortcomings, overshadowing Chelsea's 2-0 win. The victory felt hollow, the celebrations muted. For a club of Chelsea's stature, a team accustomed to playing in front of packed stadiums and fervent supporters, this wasn't just a poor turnout. It was more than just a few missing faces. It was a glaring sign, an undeniable indication that something was wrong with the event itself. The organizers had clearly failed to capture the imagination of the local fans. Even coach Enzo Maresca called the atmosphere strange, a diplomatic understatement that spoke volumes. Instead of celebration, a joyous occasion filled with cheers and applause, the match felt like a training session, a glorified scrimmage lacking the intensity and passion of a real competition, broadcast to the world. A stark reminder of the importance of atmosphere in sports. The lack of energy was impossible to ignore, a palpable absence that permeated every corner of the stadium, raising questions about the tournament's appeal and its ability to attract fans outside of its traditional strongholds. When the story becomes about who isn't there, when the focus shifts from the players on the field to the empty seats in the stands, not who is, when the narrative is dominated by absence rather than presence, you know the event has missed the mark, failing to deliver the excitement and spectacle that fans expect. The empty seats told a silent story, a visual indictment of the event's shortcomings, one that spoke volumes about the Club World Cup's struggles to capture the hearts and minds of fans in new markets, highlighting the challenges it faces in achieving global recognition. The sight of empty seats in a stadium is always a stark contrast to the vibrant energy one expects at a major sporting event. The reasons for the empty stadium quickly become clear: poor planning and misplaced priorities. It's a classic case of not understanding the target audience and their needs. The match kicked off at 3 p.m. on a Monday, a time that immediately raises eyebrows, when most fans are at work or school, deeply engrossed in their daily routines and responsibilities. Expecting a packed house at that time was wishful thinking, a gamble that clearly didn't pay off. It was an unrealistic expectation from the start. Ticket prices were another significant barrier, further contributing to the sparse attendance, with initial costs ranging from $83 to $228, placing it out of reach for many average fans. And even last-minute tickets hovering around $65, still a considerable expense for a single sporting event. For families, the cost was simply too high, making it an unaffordable outing for many. FIFA's pricing strategy seemed aimed at corporate clients, not local fans, alienating the very people who form the heart and soul of the sport. The result? A stadium that looked evacuated, not sold out, a visual representation of misjudgment. A weekend fixture or affordable tickets, or even a combination of both, might have changed the story, creating a completely different atmosphere. Instead, a cascade of poor decisions left 50,000 seats empty, a truly disheartening sight, a predictable outcome and a lesson in understanding your audience. The emptiness of the stadium was even more striking than anticipated. The vast swaths of unoccupied seats painted a picture of apathy, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy usually associated with football. It was a visual representation of something amiss, a disconnect between the event and the city hosting it. Especially given Chelsea's history in Atlanta, the club has a dedicated following here, and the city has proven its love for the beautiful game time and again. Just 2 years ago, they played a friendly here, a match that showcased the team's talent and the city's enthusiasm. It was played before a sold-out crowd of over 70,000, a testament to the pulling power of Chelsea and the allure of live football. Atlanta is no stranger to big football crowds. The city has embraced the sport with open arms. Atlanta United and US national teams regularly draw tens of thousands of passionate supporters, creating an electric atmosphere that reverberates throughout the stadium. The difference wasn't the city or the club, both of which have a proven track record of success and popularity. It was the competition itself and its perceived value in the eyes of the fans. The Club World Cup in this instance failed to capture the public's imagination, failing to ignite the passion that usually fuels football fandom. It stood in stark contrast to previous, well-timed, well-marketed events that had drawn huge crowds and generated significant buzz. Fans, it seemed, saw more value in a pre-season friendly, a chance to see their favourite players in a relaxed and entertaining setting. They saw more value than in a confusing, inconveniently scheduled tournament that lacked the prestige and excitement to justify its place on the calendar. The empty seats weren't about Chelsea or Atlanta. They weren't a reflection of the city's passion or the club's popularity. They reflected FIFA's missteps, a failure to understand the market and create an event that resonated with the local fan base. The event simply didn't connect, failing to capture the imagination and enthusiasm of the local supporters. It failed to connect with a proven, passionate fan base that has consistently demonstrated its love for the sport. The Club World Cup's problems go beyond one empty stadium. Players and coaches have criticised the tournament's timing, citing burnout after long seasons. Even worse, FIFA struggled to secure major broadcast deals, signalling a lack of confidence in the event. The tournament also clashed with global sporting giants like Wimbledon and the NBA Finals. Despite featuring 32 elite teams, the event felt bloated and forced. Player unions, broadcasters and fans all seemed unconvinced. The empty seats were just one symptom of a tournament struggling for relevance. So what's the verdict on Chelsea's hollow victory? The evidence points to a failure of planning, not fan apathy. Scheduling a match during work hours and charging high prices doomed the turnout from the start. Other matches, like Inter Miami's, drew big crowds, proving fans will show up when the fundamentals are right. The lesson is clear: fans won't fill seats just for big names. Timing, pricing, and meaning matter. In Atlanta, FIFA failed on all counts. The empty seats were a message. In modern football, you have to earn the crowd.